Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Ruchach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and as you've probably heard and seen, World War III is picking up. It's heating up. Not too long ago, Putin put out a warning that if his country is hit by any long-range missiles through Ukraine, then the country that supplied Ukraine with those long-range missiles would be in war as well. And as of late, Ukraine has used or have been given the okay to use U.S.-made long-range missiles. And that was 2 days ago, in which they did it immediately. And then Britain, as of today, just used Ukraine used British missiles in an attack today. And so from that, Putin, especially from the U.S. one, Putin has updated their nuclear doctrine. And so we're watching the groundwork being laid for World War III actually getting going. And so let's listen to this from Z News Australia.
The threat of nuclear war is greater now than at any point in the history of the Ukrainian conflict. Why? Well, overnight, Vladimir Putin signed Russia's new nuclear doctrine, which allows the Kremlin to consider using nuclear weapons in response to any conventional missile attack inside Russian territory, one that is backed up by a nuclear power like the US. Precisely the kind of attack Ukraine has just carried out after the US and President Biden gave it the all clear to use US-made ATACMS missiles, and 5 were shot down around 110 kilometers inside Russian territory overnight, with a 6th falling on a munitions plant and causing a fire. The question now in Britain is whether it will follow the US's lead and allow the British-made Storm Shadow missiles to be fired at Russia as well. An escalation that would certainly risk retaliation, or as a member of Russia's Security Council put it, World War III. For more, follow us here and watch tonight at 6 o'clock. The threat of nuclear...
So you mentioned the British missiles being fired, in which they were in fact fired earlier today. And so you have both British and US made missiles being launched into Russia, and Russia now has an updated nuclear doctrine. And it seems like World War III is getting underway, but first the MOTB would have to be made mandatory before all of this really gets kicked off. And so we still have more to look forward to as far as chaos and disorder, because the elite of the world, the Edomites, their motto, or one of their mottos, is Ordo ab Chaos, or order out of chaos. So they're going to bring a lot of disorder and then try to come with that solution to the disorder, which is their order, which in this case will be the MOTB. And then from there, we'll be able to see this giant war get kicked off, the war to actually end all wars. And then the return of Yahweh Shai and the salvation of the nation of Israel. Israel being the Negroes, Latinos, and the Native Americans. And we need these wars to get kicked off and get going. We need the MOTB to come out, and we need salvation. So we need all these terrible things to happen for the good and great thing to happen. But got this going on. Let's get into the scriptures. And this is Revelation 16 and verse 12. It says, "And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared." And currently the waters of the Euphrates are drying up, because this will be the battleground for this great war. And, just coming to Google, the AI overview for Euphrates drying up says, yes, the Euphrates River is drying up due to climate change. Climate change being Esau's boogeyman that he likes to use for everything. But here's some images of the Euphrates, and you can see that it is, in fact, drying up. It's before and after videos right here. And yeah, just seeing it from the satellite imagery. But the point being, it's being dried up to make way for the kings of the east. And this is World War III, in which you're seeing the formation and the alignment of the eastern nations under BRICS. Brazil, which Brazil isn't of the east, but starting with the BRICS, it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And so you've got Russia and China and Iran and these different nations in the east aligning against the western nations for the most part, excluding Brazil right there. But these the alignments are coming into fruition, and the reasoning is coming into fruition. We could see the sides being taken, and we could see that there will be confrontation. And we know through the scriptures that there will definitely be confrontation. So let's go to Zephaniah 3 and verse 8, because we know these are the intentions of the Lord and what he wants to bring. And he wants to have a righteous kingdom here, but this wicked one has to be judged first. This is Zephaniah 3 and verse 8. "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation." Indignation is righteous anger. He's upset with how they've touched the apple of his eye, the Israelites, over the years. He's upset with all the lies, with all the robbery, with all the murder and bloodshed. And he's coming to gather these nations together to judge them in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, which is the Lord's judgment. And this is his intention. So trying to stop World War III, or trying to go against the truth, you're going against the Lord and fighting against the Lord. So just let it flow. Let him do his thing. And we just wait. We're just waiting on him. He gave us a job to do, which is calling this out and warning our people and letting the nations know their judgment. But altogether, we're to wait on the Lord, because it's all going to come on his time first and foremost. It says, "To pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." Because this war will end with nukes. They're there for a reason, and it's for judgment. That's Joel 2, sticking with gathering all the nations, because that's what World War III will be, a gathering of the nations. And it says, "I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat," the Lord's judgment. "And he will plead or judge with them there for my people, the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the scattered, and for my heritage Israel," because they took over his people, and they took over his land, whom they are scattered among the nations. So we are scattered, it's part of the curses, and parted my land. And you got Ishmael and Amalek in the land primarily, but you also have Ham and some of the other nations there too. Even some of Israel there, not pretending or in a they're not in their right mind really to be over there. They shouldn't be over there because that land's going to be judged as well. But it says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. That's the slave trade, which were done horribly wrong. And this is the Lord judging all of that, because the nations all came together, Psalms 83, to make Israel not a nation anymore. They covered up our heritage, and they allowed us to be basically done away with, to have the worst done unto us, and they've done nothing about it. They did this, and so they're going to be judged for it, especially the Edomites, so-called white people, and with their leaders, the small hats, that being Amalek. Verse 4, it says, "Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head." So there's nothing they could do to get out of this. It says, "Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah," the southern kingdom, so-called Negroes, "and the children of Jerusalem," the northern kingdom, so-called Latinos and Native Americans, "have you sold unto the Grecians." These are so-called white people, the Edomites of the scriptures, the ones that the Lord hates. And he says, "that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them," primarily America, which we're scattered all around, but they're primarily here in Babylon the Great, aka America. And he's raising us up currently. That's why you see the men on the highways and the byways. "And will return your recompense upon your own head." And so they're going to get what they put out, but they're actually going to get it double, because they're hated of the Lord, so they shouldn't have done this in the first place. And it says, "And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah." These are the Edomites, sons and daughters being sold by so-called Negroes, or being put into the hand of the so-called Negroes. "And they shall sell them to the Sabeans, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it." And so this is the Lord's intention for them, his determination for them. They're going to go into war, they're going to get destroyed, and then they're going to go into slavery and be sold around and done terribly, like they did unto the Judites and unto the northern kingdom as well. And then verse 9, because we are getting into war, it says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." We're getting prepared. They're getting woken up. They're being pumped up to go to war. They're preparing for it. It says, "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." So all the money that they would have used for their economy or for their infrastructure, for their agriculture, for the betterment of their people, they're going to put that into their military budget now, because it's a time of war. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And so they're gathering themselves together to go down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. The Euphrates has been dried up for them to come. They're doing all the moves, the back and forth now, and their skirmishes are going on. And eventually, after this MOTB is made mandatory, these heathen are going to go fight in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel. So the Lord's going to clean up for us. He's going to have these heathen go down and fight themselves to death. Then he's going to come clean up, and then he's going to save the elect of the nation of Israel, and then he's going to order a new and righteous kingdom for his people and for the earth. And this is all coming. It's all coming to head right now. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.